Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the gentleman from New York for yielding me the customary 30 minutes, and I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman is recognized.
Well, Mr. Speaker, we just heard a whole lot of words from the gentleman in New York, but the bills before us today are yet another example of how backwards Republican priorities are and how they are hurting this country, hurting the...
All right, folks. Strap in, because what we just heard on the House floor is another classic example of Democrats doing what they do best: blaming Republicans, crying about culture wars, and pretending they're the saviors of working Americans while pushing policies that make life harder for all of us. Let's be real here. The congressman just spent 10 minutes ranting about Republicans supposedly ignoring the economy. Meanwhile, who's been in charge for years when inflation skyrocketed, gas prices soared, and groceries doubled? That wasn't because of Republicans. That was under Democrat leadership, reckless spending, and their so-called Build Back Better policies that left American families with empty wallets. And now, instead of accountability, this Democrat stands up and mocks the idea of reestablishing a coal council? Excuse me, coal miners built this country. Energy independence is what keeps America strong. But Democrats would rather shut down coal, kill American jobs, and ship our energy needs to China. That's not leadership, that's betrayal.
This country, hurting the economic well-being of the people I represent, hurting the economic well-being of working people all over this country. People are stressed about their budgets. They're worried about prices going up. They're scared they might lose their jobs. People are struggling to pay the bills and make ends meet, worried about saving for college for their kids and how they're going to deal with the exploding cost of health care. And instead of addressing any of that, we're dealing with this. And when we're not dealing with this, Republicans are obsessed with fighting culture wars. That's what they want, 24/7, culture wars, culture wars, culture wars. Some of them are now proposing a new committee to investigate their political opponents, a new House Un-American Activities Committee that would make Joe McCarthy blush. That's all this place is to Republicans, a venue for culture wars, a venue for legislation to further divide people and divide this country. Meanwhile, they do nothing, absolutely nothing, for everyday people, nothing at all. Actually, it's worse than nothing. They're actively trying to screw over regular people. Look no further than yesterday. Democrats tried to force a vote on Trump's tariffs, and nearly every Republican blocked it. Every one of them is now on record as supporting Trump's disaster of tariffs. They're not just ignoring the economy, they're making it worse. But for the other side, this is all about genuflecting to Donald Trump. It's all about power for the sake of power. It's not about the American people. It's never been about the American people for these guys. It's about power. And they use that power to help the rich, the well-connected, and the well-off. 4 of these bills that we're going to be dealing with are about local issues in Washington, D.C., something none of my constituents have ever asked me about. For the record, 0.2% of the U.S. population lives in Washington, D.C. And Republicans want to get into the weeds about their local policing policies. You know what my constituents ask me about? They don't ask me about local issues that affect Washington, D.C. They ask me about why their health care insurance premiums are going up. They ask me about prices going up because of Donald Trump's tariffs. They tell me they need more money in their pockets to make ends meet. Yet week after week after week after week, Republicans do nothing about health care, nothing about inflation. It's constant culture wars. It's constant giveaways to the rich and powerful. It's constant distractions. One of the Republican bills that we're considering today reestablishes a coal council. Not even establishes, reestablishes. Wow, that's really important. A coal council. Who the hell asked for that? A coal lobbyist? I mean, oh, and by the way, the Department of Energy already reestablished this stupid council months ago. It's apparently so important that President Trump hasn't even bothered to appoint anyone to it yet. I mean, if you look up their website, he still hasn't appointed anybody to the council. Go to the website. I mean, this is stupid. We are wasting time by doing this. Energy prices are going up in this country. And this is the response? Reestablishing a coal council? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is laughable. And the other bills Republicans are bringing forward today are giveaways to polluters who dump toxic chemicals into our air and into our water. And why? Follow the money. Follow the money. I mean, did the CEO of ExxonMobil call Donald Trump and ask for a favor? Mr. Speaker, all of these bills are a disgrace. The people we represent want us to address the real issues we face every day. They want us to talk about the cost of living, about health care, about fixing what's broken with this country's economic system. And meanwhile, as we're gathering here doing this stuff, the clock is ticking toward a shutdown. Republicans control the House, they control the Senate, they control the White House. They should be able to fund the government, but they won't. Now, let me be clear. Democrats are not going to stand by and do nothing while these guys try to kick millions of people off their health care. And I hear that the Speaker of the House is saying, oh, it's no big deal. Oh, we'll just kick the can down the road. We'll deal with it sometime, maybe in December. We'll talk about it then. Well, let me be clear, and I will speak in C-spot run language so my Republican colleagues can understand. Mr. Speaker, the CBO, that's the Congressional Budget Office, says 1.5 million people, and that's a lot of people, will lose their health care if we wait. People's premiums, and that's their monthly payments, will go way, way up because the insurance companies are making important decisions right now about how much to charge. So we do not have time to wait. Now, okay, now that that's clear, Mr. Speaker, Republicans have three choices. First, they can work with us in a bipartisan way to make sure it doesn't happen. Second, they can do what Trump said and pass a CR alone since they control government. Or third, they can choose to shut the government down. Those are the three options. Democrats, well, we're for keeping the government open, but we are not for passing legislation that tells millions of people we represent, including sick people, good luck, you're on your own, best wishes. We're not for that. We are not for that. So if there is a shutdown, I would just say to Republicans, you guys own this. It's your shutdown, and if you would rather shut down the government than protect people's health care, then we do not share the same values. I want to keep people on health care, not kick them off. You know, I go home and I ask people what they care about. I go to coffee shops and county fairs. I hold town halls, something Republicans should try to do, by the way. And you know what I hear from my constituents? They are sick and tired of those at the top getting ahead while they struggle to pay their bills. They're sick and tired of Republicans in Congress passing bills to help the rich while everyone else has to breathe in dirty air and drink dirty water. They are sick and tired of this culture war garbage and this weird obsession that Republicans have with micromanaging Washington, D.C. They want Republicans to leave Washington, D.C. the hell alone and focus on their own damn communities. They are sick and tired of Republicans trying to kick people off their health care while they're to pay for taxes for multimillionaires and billionaires. These are rotten bills. And to top it all off, we have 7 more completely closed rules with no amendments allowed. Take it or leave it from this Republican majority. I think we ought to leave it. These are terrible bills that are going to hurt people we represent. I urge a no vote, and I reserve my time.
Here's the bottom line, my friends. This isn't about healthcare or inflation or protecting working Americans. This is about power. Power for Democrats, power for bureaucrats, and power for their globalist buddies who don't give a damn about you or me. The congressman rages against culture wars. But let's face it, Democrats are the ones shoving culture wars down our throats. They're the ones obsessed with woke agendas in schools, censorship on social media, and controlling every aspect of your life. Republicans pushing back isn't culture war. It's defending American values. And on healthcare, Democrats love to scare people with numbers. saying 1.5 million will lose coverage. But what they won't tell you is that their government-run healthcare schemes raise premiums, limit choices, and give Washington more control over your doctor and your family. Republicans are fighting for freedom in healthcare, not one-size-fits-all bureaucratic nonsense. At the end of the day, Democrats want to pin a shutdown on Republicans. But who's really holding America hostage? The party that wants endless spending, no accountability, and higher taxes on your paycheck. Republicans are standing their ground because someone has to say enough is enough. So here's my reaction. This speech wasn't about helping working Americans. It was about smearing Republicans and distracting from the Democrats' failures. If you're sick of elites lecturing you while destroying your community, it's time to stand up, fight back, and take this country back. Because, folks, if we lose our freedom, we lose everything.